Today's topic really is Management 3.0. Are you already there on your journey or need a little bit of help figuring it out? Hello, everybody. I'm Sarika Kharbanda. And as you know, I am a catalyst, helping managers, leaders, and change agents accelerate their practitioner journeys to go from good to great.
Yeah, so now it's my turn. So my name is Ralph. I live in the Netherlands. I got a very strong cold. It's getting better, so I need to cough now. Then, if I can, I will mute myself. If not, sorry guys, sorry for that. I'm currently in the role of a change manager, helping a company and parts of the company to transform in the new way of working as they think it should be done. And I agree with the way of working, of course, as they see it should be done. And besides that, I'm also a Manager 3.0 fan, facilitator, content creator in the past, practitioner, and a strong believer in the vision, values, and practice Manager 3.0.
Oh, yeah, that was important for me to say too, right? So ditto to all of what Management 3.0 Ralph said, but no, I'm not a content creator. I did write a few articles though, but that's, yeah, that
Also content.
that does count. Okay, so yes, I'm also a practitioner and a certified facilitator with Management 3.0. And as you can see, we both so enjoy it that we've got the whole topic around that. So today's topic really is Management 3.0. Are you already there on your journey or need a little bit of help figuring it out? I'm going to give more context about this topic, and it goes all the way back to, and I saw your post, Ralph, today, and where you said, the book was actually released in 2011. I'd forgotten when it was released. I knew it was before I got onto the journey. And I started my journey, I remember, in 2016. When was it that you began?
I think in 2011 I did a training in Belgium with Jurgen Smet, old facilitator. And when I read the book first, and when I was reading the book, the first book, Management 3.0, helping developers to be lead agile developers, something like that, it was really like it really clicked with me. Everything I read in the book was like, oh, that's the way I already managing people, and oh, that's a great view of management. It completely clicked with me, and I was sold.
Yeah, yeah. So honestly, I read that book and I was like, okay, I understand more or less everything, but of course, there's one chapter on complexity that I was like, I don't get this, but I'm hoping I will learn it when I, get trained in it, and people with more experience on that teach me more. So yes. So, but going back to that journey, right? So 2011 book was published. You almost then became a facilitator. I joined the facilitator journey after getting trained myself. I remember flying into London and then Andrea Darabos, being my trainer. So that's awesome. And I started that journey in 2016. And yeah, both of us then ended up getting practitioner badges and everything else on our journeys. But interestingly, the whole globe with us should now be on this journey. It's been what, 14 years? So
14 years, 15 years.
Yeah, and we were discussing last month before finalizing this topic, and we were like, yeah, either everybody on the globe is on this journey and they are done. Everybody is Management 3.0, where they should be, or people are stuck. And then if people are stuck, we want to help them. Or maybe we want to help you figure out where you are stuck. And that's the whole intent of today's conversation. Of course, it is dual fold. And why I say dual fold is because it is also a wrap up of Ralph and my LinkedIn Live series, which is I have like this jazzy background that I've created. I know, but totally, Ralph, I have been so enjoying this. And I took this posted out because I'd kept this on 3rd of May, 2024 is when we started our Leading the Way with Management 3.0 practices. I mean, that was our very first LinkedIn Live. And look how far we've come. It's been a year and a month more. And we're still clicking with this, right? I mean, we're still going with this. So I think with that introduction, I don't know if you want to add more to the introduction of the topic.
And let's be fully transparent here also, Sarika. We also do workshops, public workshops, also in-house workshops. And we have to be honest about it. And it's not just Management 3.0, also other brands. We have a hard time selling a workshop. So that could mean a few things. It could mean that we are lousy sellers. We are lousy sales managers. It could be the case. I don't know. It could be that there is no budget and people are not spending any money on training. So lots of different options. And of course, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and also philosophy a bit and brainstorm about it. People now manage 3.0. Everything is done. Everybody has a manager who takes care of him or a leader, and everybody's happy. Managers are happy, leadership is happy. We're done. We completed our transformation of management in the world.
Which means that we don't view resistance as resistance. It's a positive because
Yeah.
it's not going to give me a migraine, like I say it most of the time. I love resistance. So that's where every manager and leader is today. They are managing the environment and not people anymore. That's probably what we are hoping that's happening. You want to add more?
No, I mean, it's also about creating things together, doing things together, and making sure that all the stakeholders, not the one who pays the invoice, is happy, but also the team, also your suppliers, to make the whole ecosystem happy. And that's all happening. But, I think it's not the case. Sorry to say, Sarika. So that means that we maybe are bad sales guys, but that's okay, that's another story. I had a discussion with a friend of mine a few weeks ago, a few months ago, but it's not relevant. No, it's relevant, a few months ago. And in their company, they have a system where they can select a reward of 50 euros, so let's say $50, for a colleague that they think should deserve the reward.
Okay.
And we know that as scooter cars, basically. I mean, I use it as scooter cars with a small voucher, 25 pounds, but it's the same system.
Yeah.
So she selected this colleague, assigned the reward, and for some reason, and there we go, the manager of that person has to approve. So the manager of who you give that reward has to approve the reward. And then I think, okay, we're not still there yet about when talking about empowerment and trust. So there's still something to win. And guess what? This manager disapproved. He rejected.
Hmm.
And then my friend reached out to the manager and asked him, but why did you reject? And the manager said, the reward should be for something extremely, extremely important and a huge impact, not for what you wrote. And my friend was very upset about it, and she had a lot of discussions with this manager. In the end, the manager said, okay, I will approve it. And guess what? My friend got an email back from that colleague of her who got the reward. And when she read that email, she got tears in her eyes. Because the words of that colleague were so nice, so polite, so grateful for the reward, that she was rewarded and it was seen by a colleague, that I thought, whoa, that story, that really touched me.
Right.
But that goes back to Man 3.0. Are you already there? I think, sorry to say, but there are a lot of managers and people who are not there yet and who still believe in command and control. And discussing that, and that's maybe the question for you then to think about, and we can discuss that question, is then that it's just that young people don't know about this? Are young people trained in command and control? Is it something related to age? Is it something, what is it that still people try to command and control and say, I need to prove this first, and don't trust each other?
Yeah, which makes us question, right? So is there really no trust and transparency in the system? Why is there still a lot of telling and not co-creation, right? Because if that's not happening, then no, we're not there. We're not doing anything in the modern way of working. Yeah, Management 3.0 is it for thinkers and doers to do it all together. It's no longer, like you just said, command and control, which is the Taylorism way of doing things, right? We don't have that anymore. I mean, yeah.
But, sorry, throughout the years, we also have seen, and you also met those companies that are doing great, that they completely got the values and the principles of Man 3.0, and that they are really applying it. And they got kudo boxes everywhere, kudo walls and delegation boards, and more important, the mindset of empowering people and trusting people and knowing that if you trust people, the best will come out of it. And that makes me wonder, what is then the difference? And what is then one company does work, another company does not work? Is it really about company culture?
Yeah, so that's the question that we are always asking, right? What's holding people back? Because I think what you and I are observing as patterns or signs, we're clear that nobody is all there yet.
No.
So you definitely need help. question is, what's holding you back? Where are you stuck? So like you rightly asked, is it the culture or is it your own limiting belief maybe that you don't want to implement this because maybe you fear something? I don't know. Again, we're just talking about it, right? I don't know what the answer is, but just talking to a handful of people gives me feedback that I think people are stuck in big ways, maybe because of fear, maybe because of culture.
Yeah, and of course, we talked about system thinking, complex thinking in the beginning. Probably it's a combination of everything. But I think indeed for a lot of managers, people, letting things go, so basically trusting people, well, I think it's key for a manager 2.0 mindset. I think that is so challenging. And I think a lot of people understand that it's important and that it's relevant, but really having to trust people and giving them the trust and letting things go, I think that is the biggest challenge for most people.
Yeah, because you need, I mean, all the practices that Management 3.0 that we even talk about in our workshops of Management 3.0, the default is that you feel psychologically safe to implement any practice. And you don't need permission really for most of the practices. They're really grab and go. You can literally grab and go. Of course, do it the right way. Like, for example, kudos cards, right? Don't link it to rewards and recognition and appraisal system and, all of that. So if you do that, then you're doing it the wrong way. But and don't make it like you scratch my back and I scratch yours. Then that's like, oh, okay, Ralph, give me a kudos card and I'll give you one too. So as long as you don't do it the wrong way, but don't do it just for a check in the box either. So I am observing a few companies just saying, oh, we are Management 3.0, but it's a check in the box. So you're either 1.0 or you're 2.0, but you're not 3.0. And that's disheartening actually, because if you want to do a check in the box, you're not helping anybody. You might as well just be 1.0, right?
True. So it's a lot about company culture, indeed, about just saying, hey, we're doing a thing, so it sounds good, it looks good on our company page. True. So I think in the trust, I think it's also about, you mentioned culture, of course you have company culture, maybe also country culture, something like that.
Yes.
Because I know that in South America, Management 2.0 is extremely popular.
Yeah.
But if you go to North America, if you look back in the last 10, 15 years, I think we can count the number of facilitators on one hand. I mean, we didn't have that many. And in South America, it's totally okay. It's really there. I mean, a lot of facilitators, trainers, a lot of people. Western Europe is sounds a bit different per country. So maybe also the company culture, the country culture also affects if people like Management 2.0 if they're into it.
So it's actually a mixed bag we are seeing, right? Because of countries, because of cultures. I mean, geographies, of course, are making the difference. I'd be curious if we have any of the other facilitators watching us right now, and you're from a different country. I know, a couple of people were saying they would join. So if you're hearing us, we'd love to hear in the comments, what do you think? What's happening in your spaces, your geographies, right? I mean, how is it? Is it culture-based? Is it country-based? What is it? So tell us more. And while they tell us more, I'm reminded of a lean coffee that we had, today's Thursday, just yesterday, right? And in this lean coffee, so it's something that I'm doing once a month now, which I was doing once a week last year, but it's once a month. And a lot of responses to questions yesterday ended up being, get a team agreement for your teams and they would be better off, right? It sounds like a very simple solution, but if done the wrong way, again, not having a team agreements are super powerful, but not having it really depends again on the maturity of the team. What are you trying to achieve? There are so many different parameters, but I think just having a team agreement is not going to be bad for any team, even if you're super sure. But that's also a sense of things that we bring in Management 3.0, right? No means, again, we're bad sellers. We've agreed to that. We're not selling it again. But the fact of the matter is, it's powerful. And people are talking about it in different ways, whether you call it the team charter, team contract, or ways of working, call it whatever. But one very simple practice that you could bring to life,
Yep, true. But could it be then that the problems that Management 2.0 try to address are not felt anymore, that companies don't feel those pains anymore. I mean, do we need to change marketing? Do we need to change our message? I mean, if you have a company nowadays, you got a lot of young people. They want to have a good life balance, work-life balance. They want to have a clear goal. They want to know how they improve the world. They want to have what do you call it? A goal, sustainability. They want to do good for the world. And I think, yeah, that's all things that Management 2.0 can offer. I mean, we got the Work Expo, we got OKRs, we can discuss about it, but a lot of things are there to also help those kind of organizations. So why is it they're not connecting with those people who still need it?
So it's an interesting thought you triggered in me. And I'm actually now thinking of the 5 principles that we offer at Management 3.0, right? And the very first one, again, in no prioritized order, but the very first one is all about people and interactions, right? Now, if I even just look at that, and in no way I'm just wanting to be like giving it a negative hat or something, but just being practical from what I'm seeing and hearing, I still hear the word resources when we refer to people. Now, that itself gives me feedback saying you're not looking at people as humans, you're looking at people as things like, yeah, pen, marker, whatever, right? These are resources. So, I mean, these are really basic 5 principles. If we have to talk about this as the very first one of them being co-creating work. Why should you do everything? Why can't you get, together do things as a team? I mean, we're talking of 5 basic principles. I don't want to get into all 5 now, but you see the point where I'm driving with. But the very basic thing meaning, am I checking in with my team? Am I looking at what they are motivated with? Am I looking at what energizes them? Am I being human with my team members, right? As a leader. And if that's not happening, then I think it's a very basic principle we want to start with. And that's why I would think I want to get unstuck by getting into Management 3.0's ways of working.
Yeah, very good. And I think another thing that I also noticed or observed in the last 5 years, if you talk about Management 2.0 with people on conferences, Management 2.0, it's about delegation cards. Yeah, I know that. I know Management 2.0. Okay, you know delegation paper, you know delegation cards, you know delegation board. Not sure if you know how it should really work, but do you know the ideas behind it? Do you know that it's a lot more than just this? So I think people also think about Management 3.0 as something simple, something just a few tools, and we know the tools, we know moving motivators. I played that one in the conference, so yeah, I mean, and what I always try to say at a workshop to challenge people, okay, I teach you one way to play moving motivators, but there are a zillion more ways you can use it. You need to experiment and you need to try it out, and you need to keep in mind the principles. And that's something that I always did when I started using the practices in 2011. Just experiment and try things out. And back in the day, you did not write down the principles yet, but keep in mind the way of thinking that's behind it. And if you realize that, if you look at it like that, then Management is so much more than just delegation cards.
I mean, look at all those practices which we covered while leading the way with Management 3.0 practices. All our LinkedIn Live people, if you haven't, just go on to Ralph's events or my events and go back for last year, look at our LinkedIn Live series, right? We've talked about almost all practices, leaving aside a few new ones that popped up, but change management game, personal maps. We've talked about so many practices and we see very few people still using them. I haven't heard a manager say, I'm done with my work today. I have better things to do. I'm going to go write a book or I'm going to do something else or go on a cruise or whatever. Oh, I have to finish this. You're still short on time. Why?
Yeah.
If you were delegating, wouldn't you do better things after you've delegated things? I mean, it's an open question. We could always ask that, right?
Yeah. But then it is so much more than just 1 or 2 practices. I mean, as I said, also the principles, the values, the ideas behind it, how you probably think, the system thinking part. I mean, that already can cover a few days in a workshop. You can already talk about it for a long time. But if people only look at it like this delegation and that's it, yeah, then they lose so much about Management 2.0.
Exactly. Okay. In the interest of time, you and I will start wrapping it up. How do we want to start wrapping it up? What do you have in mind?
Okay, the conclusion is Management 2.0, I think we both agree there's still a lot of work to do.
Yes.
We cannot fill our workshops, so the conclusion is we are bad sales guys. Sorry, but that's the conclusion. Sorry, Sarika. I think, and that's for me, I mean, I know there are some ideas about the future of Management 2.0, but for me, it's all about also the ideas behind it, and they will always remain there for me. I still believe in the values, in the things about Management 2.0, and I will keep using them. I mean, even this week I did a workshop delegation poker cards at my company, but I also focus a lot about empowerment, about responsibility, accountability, the differences, and all those kind of ideas and views on management, on leadership. I will keep sharing with people.
Yeah.
And so I will keep doing that. And I think I'm 50 now, so I think I still need to work 15, 17 years. And I think even in 17 years, 17, if I share that message, still people will say, oh, that's an interesting view. So I think the conclusion for me is we should never give up and just keep on spreading the word and the innovation and lead by example. That's my takeaway from this talk.
Yeah, I love that. In fact, I'm wondering, what do I want to say? You said it all, right?
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, maybe I'll just say, I think it's just important to sometimes question the status quo in whatever way you've been working. We're not saying one is right over the other. We're just saying question it and see if it's still meaningful. We've seen through all our experience, and we've both been leaders and managers in our own domains and spaces. We still are in many ways, even if we practice it and then become trainers and educators in different ways, but we're still practicing it day in, day out, whether we are coaching that with teams or differently in different contexts. So I would say question yourselves, question your limiting beliefs. What's stopping you? What's holding you back? And if you need help, we're around. Again, we're not great sellers, but we can help you in different ways. Yeah. Point you to articles, point you to things. Also, that works.
Indeed, and we'll do that even for free. People are questions about management project. I will always help them. Always.
Yes. And we do a lot of stuff pro bono. We do a lot of stuff for free. Yeah. So yeah. If you've been following us on LinkedIn Live, you know how we are. We are just human. We are not robots. We are not AI. Okay. So we are real. Okay. But that's it. I'm going to leave it with that. So, but I want to thank you, Ralph, as the very last thing I want to say on this call, because it's been a fantastic journey doing these LinkedIn Lives with you. And just for full transparency to all of you, no, we do not prepare so much. These things are probably the only thing we prepare, and our talk just evolves, really. Yeah. I had only 2 bullet points to talk around. So what are the signs we are seeing and what might be holding you back? And that's it. I just got in. So, yeah. But every LinkedIn Live has been so powerful, so wonderful, and so meaningful to have with you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarika. Again, you said everything now also for me. But I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed our coffee talk, so I'm really going to miss it. So we need to find a way to keep doing this now and then, because it's really enjoyable to talk about this kind of topics.
Yes, we'll think of something in the near future, maybe once you're also back from vacation. Who knows? We'll come with some other ideas. Who knows what life has in store? We just emerge some ideas and move forward with it, right?
Yes, we'll do.
All righty. Thank you, everybody. You all have a great week or upcoming weekend ahead, and we will see you in some other place online or in person. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.